My name is Mary Turner. They know me by Mary Turner. But actually, my real name and my birth certificate is Maria Luisa Magdaleno Hermosillo. I was born in December 23, 1940, in el rancho del Chilarillo, San Gaspar de los Reyes, cerca de Atotonico, Mexico, Jalisco. When we arrived, first of all, being in Texas, picking cotton. My sister was born there in Texas, in the cotton farm. We didn't know anybody there. And my mother wanted to baptize her. So asked the priest, but we had nobody. The priest said, it's okay, I'll stay here and I'll go get somebody. He came back with a couple from the bar. So my sister was, godparents is a couple that the priest got out of the bar.
Wow.
And she never met her godparents when she got baptized. She never knew them. But up to this day, every time it's her birthday, she prays for them. I was raised in Southwest in Coretown. We lived near the Tiger Stadium. We used to see the people going to the game all the time when they had baseball games. My father had always wanted to come to Detroit because his father had been here before him, and he spoke about Detroit, how nice it was, and so we got on the bus to come to Detroit. When we got to the Greyhound, at that time the Greyhound terminal was right in downtown Detroit, over near the City Hall. And getting off the bus, guess who was there to greet us? Immigration. Immigration was there. They saw a man with a little girl by the hand, a lady with a baby in her arms. They got off the bus and they questioned them, and they told them they just came from Texas and the cotton farm. And at that time, if you had a child that was born here in the USA, they could not deport you. Now they could care less. So since they could not deport us, instead of taking us to jail, they took us to Father Kern, to the rector at Holy Trinity, because they knew about Father Kern's work, how he worked, with the immigrants. Father Kern took us in. That my parents spoke to him, where they were from, and given all that information. He said, okay. He found a room for us to spend the night. So we went to the family, and we spent the night with the family. And would you know, the next morning, bright and early, Father Kern appeared at the door. He had a job for him. He had a job for him carrying blocks of ice at the book Cadillac, right there on the boulevard at Michigan Avenue. Yeah. So he worked on the second day that he was here. And then we found an apartment, not a full apartment, but a room, 2 rooms, where we rented. Then when we got enough money, we were able to rent an apartment. And I remember my father taking us to Clark Park. We had 2 swimming pools, one for the babies, not babies, but younger children, and one for the older kids. I remember that. And then he used to rent a bicycle. There was a bicycle shop across the street from the park that we could rent. And we were right on it. That I remember. Bagley Street, that was the street to walk. I remember getting together with the girls. We would meet. And there was a theater on the corner of Michigan and Brooklyn. And then later on, there was another theater on Bagley Avenue. So some of us girls, when we went out to the movie on Bagley, we would, put arms around arms, and we would go down the street, cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha, que viva cha-cha-cha. And we just cha-cha all our way to the theater. We had fun. 12th Street was house to house to house to house. And they knocked them all down. And to me, up to this moment, I really believe that the government, they were going to build a government building on Bagley Street near Trumbull, and they knocked a lot of beautiful houses down. To me, in my heart, I think that they were trying to get rid of us. Why would they tear them? And that federal building never developed. It's now on Michigan Avenue near Cass. And back at that time, there was a lot of us Mexican people living by 12th and Bagley, apartments. And we all got along together. We had a good time together. And to this day, I really believe that the government wanted to break us up. I really, in my heart, feel that.
How did people help each other, through churches or clubs or organizations, because like through community, how did people help each other back then?
At that time?
Yeah.
The church. Look at Father Kern. I remember a Cuban family came from Cuba. One of the, they left Cuba for, Castro and all that. They ended up at Father Kern's rectory. He found them an apartment. He found the man a job. Father Kern would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go pick him up and take him to work until he learned how to take the bus. He never let anybody stay home. He put him to work right away. And I have a girlfriend named Edie Colon. She's Puerto Rican. She had moved from Puerto Rico to New York. And her father lived here in Detroit. And then when they asked her, when she was in New York, Edie, where are you from? My name is Edie Colon, and I live in Buffalo, New York. I mean, that's what she thought. But then when she came to Detroit, she said that she remembers her father. When people from Puerto Rico would come for him, for help, information, he always ended up taking them to Father Kern. Padre, necesitan renta, necesitan esto, necesitan lo otro. And Father Kern always came through with that. So when we started having more Puerto Ricans in the church and the choir, and we all got along really super good. Ozzy used to go there. Ozzy, I think, was an altar boy.
Wow.
Yeah, ask him about it. If he remembers being an altar boy at Holy Trinity.
Okay.
Oh, Christmas time was Christmas, the birth of Christ. And we used to have fundraisers there at church, not in church, but, on the street. And we had a good time. They would build up a jail to throw somebody in jail, and then they had to pay money they want to get out. That's one way of making money. And also when Mary and Joseph were looking for an apartment, not an apartment, but in a housing, because she was pregnant. We relive that moment, and knock on the door and ask for to hospitality and turn them away. But yeah, we follow the traditions.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time or the celebrations of like something like Dia de los Muertos or Cinco de Mayo in Detroit?
El Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. The Catholic Church is not too much on that. Okay, they want on Dia de los Muertos. They encourage the children to wear saints, clothing. Para Dia de los Muertos, yeah. And then Father Kern started a Christmas event. A lot of families didn't have money to buy Christmas gifts, so he would make a Christmas party for them, and they would invite the children. They would come and see Mrs. Claus. They would get coats, food. I mean, they would have a good time. And the tradition is still going on right now. Holy Trinity has a Christmas party for the children every year.
Wow.
And the kids enjoy it, and they love it. Ever since they took us to Father Kern, I never have quit going to church there. I've missed a few months, give or take, but Holy Trinity continues to be my church. Matter of fact, when you walk into the house and went to the kitchen, you might have seen a sign that says Father Clement Kern. It's a green sign. And Father Russ Kohler, there used to be a pastor at one time, let me and two other girls take the street sign, but to return it back when I wasn't using it anymore. So I have the sign there, and my son knows already that when I pass away, God takes me to give it back to Holy Trinity. When I got older, I worked very hard to get his name again on the street, getting petitions and going to City Hall and doing this and doing that. And I managed to get the name of Father Clement Kern again on the street sign on 6th Street. So I went to Most Holy Trinity School, and I was able to see Father Kern working. I remember seeing the people that used to work for Father Kern volunteer, taking furniture, clothing to the people, doing this and doing that. And I saw the way they did it, always with a smile, never grumpy, never, this and that. And that inspired me. Seeing Father Kern at work, how he helped the people and how he did this, and never, always with a smile, always with a smile. And his workers, the same thing too, always with a smile. I said, no, that's the way to do. You're going to help somebody, do it from the heart. Do it from the heart with a smile. I try to do that as much as I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Your whole life was built around that.
yeah, I've been working for up 10 years. And I'm not working anymore, but guess what? I'm still working. People call, Senora Turner, Senora Turner. I can't turn anybody away. I started working at La State Agency. I was a server, translations, information referrals. Oh, we fought to get the Secretary of State to come to La State to give, the driver's license to pass the test. So Maria Espinosa is another person that needs to be recognized for her work too. Her and I, we worked to get Secretary of State to come to La State Agency for them to get their license, because they used to go to the Secretary of State, you need this, you need that, and blah, blah, blah. No, you don't need that. No, And then Maria stepped in too. She was good, Maria Espinosa. Yeah, she helped. Yeah, I just love her. Yeah. And we worked together. We had a meeting one time with Michigan Employment, and persons that are on disability, how they have a hard time. And then when it came to me to give a speech, disability, okay. ¿Qué me dijo? No entiendo. ¿Qué me dice? ¿Qué me dice? And the person that were asking, what's going on? That was not part of the plan. And I said, what's going on? I said, you know what? You take people for disability with this and with that. Not knowing the language is a big disability too. We need to have people to translate. We need people to be there for us. No, I push that, but I never forget the look at that gentleman. ¿Qué? That wasn't in the plan. This is for disability people. ¿Qué? No entiendo lo que me dice. Por favor, me repite eso, por favor. I said, not knowing the language, not being able to understand the language, that's a disability too. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib used to work at the International Institute at one time, doing immigration work. And then she started coming to La Sede Agency. And I used to see her, how she worked with the people, always fighting for the people, always battling for the people. And she impressed me. And I didn't realize that, but she was also observing me by my work. I like her work. I like what she was doing for our people. I saw how she fought for our people. She saved a lot of the people to be, that they were going to be taken away, deported. She saved a lot of those people. She's still doing it. I work for Rashida. Since I was laid off, because they told me they didn't have money. That was when they was going through a hard time. They laid me off because of lack of money. I said, okay. And now I thank them that they laid me off. Because if it wasn't that I was laid off, I wouldn't have been working for Rashida. I started with Rashida as a volunteer because I knew she couldn't pay me. And I didn't mind it because I was going to learn from her too. And to continue helping the people. She needed a translator in the office. And it just things just happen. It just happened. And up to this day, I really thank God that I was laid off from Lissette. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been working for Rashida. So I was blessed with that. I look at things as blessings, things that happen for a reason. My father stayed here for for the birth of my older brother, but for the birth of my sister, my sister Antonia. But when she was pregnant, he wanted to go back to Mexico. He was a traveling man. He was like a gypsy.
Who is that?
My father.
Yeah.
And my mother, after the experience that she had, that she lost a daughter, she says, no, yo me quedo aquí. And she was pregnant with my brother, Vidal, that she named him Vidal after him. And my brother that's living right now, he was there when he was taken off, and he remembers my mother crying, holding on to him, and him pushing away to get away. He was not happy here at all. But my mother did not want to lose another child the way she had lost it before. And she saw how we were. We were in an apartment, we had furniture, we had food. We had everything. And she was not going to give that up and take a chance on another child passing away. So up to this day, my brother is not very kind of my father. But you can understand why. When she tried to find a job and then have to go house to house to look for food for her daughters and herself, thank God that priest came into her life. A priest has always played a role in my life. I don't know if you noticed that, but a priest has always played a part in my life. And here we are today. I'm a great grandma now. I love my great-grandchildren. I have good friends. I still go to Holy Trinity. I will never leave Holy Trinity because that's where the immigration took us. That's why. Yeah, and to this day, I thank God that I was laid off from Lissette. Otherwise, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Right.
God is good.
That is good.
God is good.